how to pay 5% tax in Poland. In this video, I will give you the answer to this question. My name is Stas. I have been living in Poland for 9 years and developing a business. In this video, we will talk about IP box. What is it? IP box, how to get benefits. And the main point of the video is to pay 5% tax. And let's start right now. We'll discuss it right away. So, friends, IP box translates to intellectual property. Intellectual property, well, like a box, a little box of intellectual property. The program was invented in 2018 by the Polish government to somehow, at first, a miracle. That is to motivate entrepreneurs towards innovation and business growth. The point is that if your activity, your device activity, reaches the level of development, meaning you have some research and development activity, you can receive such a benefit. That is such a privilege. The essence of the benefit is that you have, this benefit can be obtained both for the company and for the individual. And do you have, within the company, there is CIT, corporate income tax, and for individuals, there is PIT, private income tax. So in both cases, you can reduce this thing, that is lower it to 5% of the net profit. Instead of 9% for the company, you will pay, or 19% by the way, instead of 19% within the company, you can pay 5%. If you have, for example, a tax for it within the individual framework, then you can pay 5% instead of 19%. I think it's a very cool discount. Let's figure out how it works. I'll give you the basics from which you can continue to search and Google. You can come to us, we can set up this whole process for you. There are a few things involved. In the first year, a declaration is submitted, and the verification of all this intellectual property is done in the second year. It all works a bit simpler then, so you can dive into it further either on your own or with us. SDP, with the South. And so how does the system work? First, you pay the full rate, and then at the end of the year, you submit an additional declaration, and you get that money back. It's a bit inconvenient. It can cause difficulties with accounting, meaning you still have to keep a record of income and expenses. Nevertheless, this option exists. You initially pay, for example, 9% of the net profit, and then you submit the declaration, and a recalculation is done, and then you get back those 4%. Well, if this amount is large, yes. If you have, say, 1 million in net profit, those 4%, well, it's interesting to see if you can get it back. Well, yes, in fact, in the worst case, you end up paying the same taxes you would have paid anyway. And if everything goes well, and you do everything correctly with our help, for example, then you will get back those 4%. Let's discuss what this pertains to. The IP box concerns qualified rights in intellectual property. IP box relates to qualified rights, copyrights, and intellectual rights. Let's discuss what this is. First, patents. Patents. Rights with registration of industrial designs. For example, some kind of industrial MVP on that you created, meaning some industrial construction, an innovative tile that you invented or something else. Yes, that's right. We are discussing this here. This all includes startups. These are also some discounts and bonuses for the startup industry, because every country wants to compete in the field of technology. Any normal country. Guys, the full list. I will post it under the video. Let me read a couple more items that will be valuable for you. Copyrights related to medicinal products. Copyrights, some innovations related to the power plant business. So, how to translate rastliny. Copyrights related to plants. Lastly, concerning the IT industry, copyrights on computer programs, including the code, which stem from this. These are copyrights on the code as well. Accordingly, now all IT companies and programmers should actually have a light bulb go off, because this is about you. And in general, I will continue to speak from the perspective of programming and the IT industry. No put startups, because this is relevant to most of you. Few of the viewers are developing innovations in the field of plants. A question arises: what are the specific conditions for the IT industry? Let's read them out. So first, conducting research and development activity. That is, you need to engage in this research and development activity. Creation of orchard qualified IP. For example, put a copyright for computer programs. Essentially, the creation of qualified IP, which is intellectual property, yes. Creation of an intellectual property program where there is copyright, and essentially these could be some computer programs further on. Earning income and incurring expenses from qualified intellectual property rights, obtaining income, and expenses related to creation of this copyright of this program code, reducing expenses. That is, there should be some targeted expenses because it doesn't work otherwise. So you received income from copyright, but you want to fix it at 5%, and you kind of have no expenses. That is, you should have one. You create some program, okay, and there arises copyright, which is your income. For example, 1,000,000 zlotys. But to do this, you must have had some expense, and all of this will need to be calculated further. We will now discuss with you how this works. In general, these are the conditions specifically for the industry. A complete list of all the qualifications that need to be met, and a separate PDF where the law and all conditions are outlined. You will find it in our Telegram channel, the link to which is under this video, showing how it works in practice. All these Polish words, it's unclear, does it work? So do you have these companies, or what type of entrepreneur are you there, a programmer? There is a part of the activity that may qualify as intellectual property, or maybe all of your activities qualify under this category. You start doing this, receive an invoice from the client or customer, they pay for the service. You start implementing it. The copyrights, as it were, then transfer to them. To provide this service, you needed to incur some expenses. You incurred those expenses as well. For example, hiring someone else, doing some subcontracting, conducting some research activities related to this, and so on. Next, you paid your regular PT or CIT throughout the year, the one you were supposed to pay. Next, attention. You submit an application to make this first return, and the first time you do this, you need to properly qualify this activity. Now I will read it to you. Submit an application for an individual interpretation to the Director of National Tax Information. They have such a director here. And for the first time, you submit your interpretation. Essentially, it looks like this. You will submit your book of income and expenses where it is written for. What activity do you want to receive? IP box? You want to receive a return? And you submit a kind of letter from yourself, prepared by lawyers. We, along with partners, can help you do this. Where is the interpretation written? Essentially, it's a kind of narrative about what you did, what product you developed, what research you conducted in the first year. Such is the bureaucracy. All of this is accepted. And then a decision is made whether to grant you the IP box, whether to give you a return or not. In the second year, it's already easier. You will only need to submit financial statements, and that's how it looks, friends. The question arises, is it worth using the IP box or not? And how much does this whole thing cost? Well, obviously, this is not for micro businesses. It's for small and medium-sized businesses. It is beneficial when you understand that you will be recording a net profit, meaning you will not be at a loss this year. And it is beneficial when you know for sure that you will meet all the qualification criteria, you will be qualified, and you will definitely be able to reclaim these percentages, meaning to get the 5% IP box, pay 5% tax instead of some other rate expenses. How much does this pleasure cost? The average market price is about 5,000 zlotys for preparing the set of documents for the IP box for the first time. Afterwards, it becomes cheaper, probably from 1,000 to 2,000-3,000 zlotys. This will cost later. Therefore, if your tax return is less than 5,000 zlotys, then it makes no sense to pay lawyers for the IP box and all this hassle. However, if this amount is large, if it's 50,000 zlotys, then obviously 5,000 to give to someone to help you sort it all out and bring it to completion. Logically, it makes sense. So, friends, there are many such nuances. There are also various lower business sectors where this can be applied as well. If you're interested, write below the video as always. Of course, if you're interested in opening a company in Poland or etc. with us and getting excellent service, a good product, contact us below. There are also all the links, Pocket for Good, business apota in Poland and low taxes. The subtitles for this video were meticulously crafted and created by Dinapova, ensuring that every word is accurately represented and synchronized with the spoken content for an optimal viewing experience.